Let me know in the chat, guys. Can you hear me now? Having some technical difficulties. I think I need to invest in a new mic. Yeah, if one of you guys could let me know if you can now hear me, please. Um, all good now. Perfect. Thank you so much, Box Boy Culture. Appreciate that, man. Would have been sitting here talking to myself. So yeah, appreciate it very much, man. But yeah, let's get straight back into it. Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. What sort of lineup is Mikel going to go with? And can we beat Bayern Munich? We've sent a statement to the Premier League against Spurs at the weekend, scoring 4 goals in a formidable victory. What sort of lineup will Mikel Arteta go for? Listen, I remember against Atletico Madrid. He brought in Miles Lewis-Skelly, who has played every Champions League game, and that is the change I think we will see today. I think Skelly will come in and listen. If Skelly played any game, I would not be upset. I would not be like, oh, why is he not starting Calafiori? I feel like Skelly has been really unlucky to lose his place, but Calafiori's been excellent. And listen, Bayern Munich have got some great players. I'm not sure if Gnabry is going to be fit. It looks like he's trained with his teammates. So Gnabry could be a challenging, depending on who they play on the left or the right. Of course, Elise is probably one of their main danger man, but the main man is Harry Kane. We've got William Saliba. We've got the best defense in Europe. Of course, we're missing Gabriel, so that's a big miss. Hincapié has came up against Kane before in the Bundesliga. He was an invincible in the Bundesliga. So, listen, I don't think he's going to, he was like a duck to water against Spurs. But listen, this is a different kettle of fish. This is Bayern Munich. I would like to see Arteta, I think, make maybe one or two changes, perhaps three at the most. Chelsea made about three changes and they still had a formidable victory against Barcelona. Of course, Man City then went and made 10 changes. And we all know what happened there. Manchester City losing 2-0. And I just think with Man City, I think Pep's thinking, you know what? We've got Leeds. They've got Leeds at home this weekend. And of course, we play Chelsea after a massive game against Bayern Munich. So there's no way we could make 10 changes. So it's going to be a physically demanding week for Arsenal. It's going to be a very, very tough week for us compared to Man City. You know, that Leverkusen at home is a bit more of an easier game than Bayern Munich. Of course, Leeds at home, they've got two home games. We go away to Chelsea, which is always a difficult game for any team. And Chelsea are on some great form at the moment. Esteval looks like a real player. But for me, I just feel that tonight we have to go strong. I think he has to go strong. We're in such a good moment. It was easier for Pep to rest players because they had just coming off the back of a loss. So he can say, you know what, you're not playing. I need to give you guys a breather and I need to see what these other guys can do. And they've let him down. They've let Pep down. They let Manchester City down. Arsenal, the worst thing we could do is make a whole lot of changes and then we go out there and get stuffed 3-0 or 3-1. Or, you know, the last time Arsenal conceded 3 goals, guys, was against Luton. I went to that game 4-3 Arsenal against Luton, which was now about nearly 3 years ago, guys. So, you know, we don't want to be conceding goals. We don't concede a lot of goals, which is something that Mikel Arteta has instilled and built in this team, which is a great trait to have. You don't concede goals, you've always got a chance of winning. So for me, my lineup would be as follows. David Raya, I think, always has to play, unless it's maybe a Carabao Cup game or an FA Cup game. So David Raya would be in goal. Could you give Urian Timber a rest? Because of Ben White's form, I don't think you can. I think it's going to have to be Timber. Ben White has, you know, since that injury, he's not looked the same. This wouldn't be a game I'd be throwing Ben White into. So I'm pretty sure it'll be Timber and then Saliba and Nketiah. I think that the two centre-backs have to say the same. Look, if Mosquera was in there for Saliba, I wouldn't be tearing what little hair I've got out, but I want to see Saliba in there. This is up against Harry Kane, the best striker in Europe. Well, if he's not the best, he's in the top 2 or 3. Him, Mbappe, Haaland, take your pick. Let me know. Big up to Box Boy Culture. Yeah, I think he'll go with a strong lineup. But do you think he should go with a strong lineup, though? Or do you think he should make a lot of changes? And of course, that left back's the interesting one. I would let Miles Lewis Skelly play because he's that good. He has to play. And it seems to me that Arteta has said, look, you're going to play in the Champions League because he's played every Champions League game so far. And I think he'll start tonight. And I want to see him play tonight because I love watching Miles Lewis Skelly play football. He's a great player. And he needs to know well, I think he should know he's got a future at Arsenal. But we need to make sure that we really integrate him to the squad and make sure he gets playing time. In the middle, I think the middle, again, it picks itself. Of course, Odegaard looks like he's going to be in the squad, so Odegaard could be on the bench. But in the middle, of course, it's going to be Eze, Declan Rice, Zubimendi. Now, look, if you can get Declan Rice off at some point, if we're winning the game, if we're leading, it's likely going to be a tight game. But if we are, then get him off. Although he's played, you know, Declan Rice, I'll give you a stat here. Declan Rice, when he made his debut for West Ham, if he had played in every single game, 38 games a season, he would have played something like 309 games, and he's played 287. So the guy doesn't get injured. When Arsenal were buying Declan Rice, they bought him because he does simply not get injured. He's, you know, some players pick up knocks here and there, and of course he might have missed the odd game here and there, but he doesn't pick up long injuries. The guy is a machine, you know, he's very robust. And some players are just, I don't know whether it's luck or it's just the way their bodies are built, but some players don't get injuries, and I hope I've not gone to jinx it. But I think Declan Rice they've got Kimmich, who's a world-class player. He is one of the best midfielders. You know, he's very underrated, Joshua Kimmich. He'll be in the middle, and he's a top player for Bayern Munich. And then on the left, there's Trossard now. He scored against Munich last year, and he's clutch, and he scores in these big games. I wouldn't mind seeing Martinelli get a game tonight against Bayern Munich. So I'm going to say save Trossard for Chelsea because he's a bit older. Trossard is 29 or 30 now. Give Trossard a rest. Let Martinelli come in or Madueke, because it's interesting that he brought Madueke on instead of Martinelli at the weekend. But I think that's maybe because he's just probably that little bit more fit. But listen, if it's Madueke or Martinelli, I wouldn't be too fast. I think Saka has to play as the big games. Bukayo Saka has to play, and he was good against Spurs. I thought he was brilliant. Didn't get a goal or an assist, and I think a goal against Bayern Munich. He also scored against them last season. I think that would be fantastic if Bukayo Saka could get on the score sheet today. It'd be do the world of good for his confidence. And of course, then it's Mikel Merino up front. Unless, of course, Victor Gyökeres is back. Now, what I want to ask to the people watching is, if Gyökeres is back, let's say all three of them, because Havertz is going to be back in January. Or he's had a setback in his injury. But Havertz, Gyökeres, Merino, who are you starting up front? Let's say they're all fit. They've all played a few games. Havertz has played let's say he plays in the League Cup quarterfinal we've got coming up. I'll throw Jesus in there as well because he's on his way back. So that's four players that can play up front. Let me know in the comments who you would start. For me, it'd be Victor Gyökeres first, Havertz, Marino, and then probably Jesus, which is mad, really, to think that. But look, let me know in the comments because I was on a Dan Potts' show yesterday. Big up Dan Potts on the 12th roundabout, and he said that he would rather Marino start over Havertz if it was Marino or Havertz. And some people have said to me, even who I do the show with, I call him Negative Dan, but realist Guna, he has said he would prefer to have Marino than Gyökeres. Now that's a big statement, guys. Big statement. So let me know in the comments who you think, who you would like to start if you had the choice. I think regarding today's game, just how big is it? I mean, for me, it's it's a big game because it's Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. We've obviously got history with them, and it's not gone well. And all of us fans would love nothing more for us to go and smash Bayern Munich. That's what we want to see, right? All as Arsenal fans going up against a team that, of course, have gave us horrible times in the past. They've, you know, we'll never forget the 10-2, and of course, not last season, the season before, going out to them. I keep saying last year against Munich. I'm referring to the year before when we drew 2-2 with them. But yeah, so we've not had a good history of Bayern Munich. But there's not much jeopardy in the game because we've already got 12 points. City have only got 10 and they rested players. But if they lose to Madrid, City could be in trouble. They could be in trouble and they could not make the top 8. Now, of course, we have to make that top 8. And I think even if we lost today, it's very likely we're still going to make that top 8. Inter Milan is a tough game, which you could lose. We could lose, we lost there a few years ago as well. But Kirat and Bruges, which I'll be going to Bruges away as well. Looking forward to that. We should be winning them games comfortably. So I don't see a world where we don't qualify. So there's the jeopardy is not in it, but it's a big game. We could send a message to Europe. And listen, we may face Bayern Munich down the line in this competition. I actually think we will because I think Bayern will go far. I think this is going to be our biggest test of the season. I don't think Manchester City are as good as Bayern Munich. I don't think Liverpool are, although they beat us, of course, Liverpool. But I think Bayern Munich are probably, they went away and beat PSG as well. I think Bayern Munich right now with Arsenal, they're probably the two best teams in Europe, form-wise anyway, right now, Arsenal and Bayern Munich. So as much as we want to go and beat Bayern Munich, of course we do. But I do think, there will be a half an eye on Sunday. And the thing is, if the game's a draw and there's 20 minutes to go, I'm not sure both teams are really going to bust their guts because Bayern Munich have been formidable. They've only dropped 2 points in the Bundesliga, but they're only 6 points ahead of Leipzig. So, only being 6 points ahead of Leipzig, it's not like they're running away with that league. Leipzig are really keeping the pressure on them. So I think Bayern Munich, for 100% Bayern Munich are going to go as strong as they can. Like I said, I think Arteta will make no more than 2 changes. And I think that's the right thing to do. But listen, sometimes you can't win because if he makes a lot of changes and we lose, get stuffed, why'd you make so many changes? And if he doesn't make enough changes, it's, our players are getting injured because of Mikel Arteta. This is what I hear on a lot of streams. Guys, please make sure you smash that like button. We've now got past the 1K mark, so thank you to everyone who have subscribed to the channel. Help us get now to the next the next milestone, which would be 2K. Help us get to 1100 first before we even start thinking about 2K. But appreciate all the love. Let me know what you think about Manchester City. Is Manchester City's era coming to an end? I was listening to Talksport earlier, and Didier Hamann, who's very outspoken, he does say some wild things, but he said he doesn't think Pep Guardiola will win a Premier League or a Champions League ever again at Manchester City. Is Manchester City's time's up? Let me know in the comments if you think City's time's up. Could Arsenal be about to have their era of dominance? Could Arsenal now be about to have, what City had? But when you look at Manchester City, right, you look at Klopp and you look at Guardiola. Klopp was at Liverpool for 9 years, and yes, he won every trophy, bar the Europa League, which they lost that final. So Klopp has won every single trophy, but he only won one league title in 9 years, right? One league title Klopp won. Pep Guardiola in 10 years at Manchester City won Champions League. So it's golden eras, and Manchester City, no doubt, he's won like 6 league titles with them. It's unbelievable stuff. Now Arsenal, I feel like we're just entering our sort of era, or what I call a golden era that's going to be for Arsenal. And when you have these teams, you have to win as much as you can, because you never know how long it's going to last. Generally it's about 3 to 5 years. Of course, there's teams like Manchester United that just kept on going. Sir Alex Ferguson winning 13 league titles out of the 25 years or whatever it was there. Unbelievable stuff. But could Arsenal be about to enter ours? Because if you look at our team from 1998 under Wenger to 2005, let's say, because then we didn't win a trophy for 9 years after that. As much as we won, we should have won more, and we should have won a Champions League. Icon legends like Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Vieira, we should have won a Champions League. We should have won it in 2004 when we went out to Chelsea, and we should have won it in 06 against Barcelona. And that was like the team was on its last legs. Chelsea, they very nearly didn't win the Champions League with their golden era. And in 2012, they still had Drogba, they still had Peter Cech, they still had John Terry, but the team was aging, and they finished sixth in the league that year, and somehow ended up winning the FA Cup and the Champions League. And of course, they won it a few years later, finishing fourth when they were not really even a great team. So sometimes the best team doesn't always win the Champions League. But this now, Arsenal, we have to start winning trophies now, and as many as we can. Because for me, this team, you look at Gabriel, he's age 27. He's the leader. Rice is 26. Saka's 24. They're all at that age. They're all getting into their primes. If we can keep all of these players together till they're in their early 30s, I do think we could win a hell of a lot of trophies. And I'm backing us to win at least 2 trophies this season. Let's read some of these comments out. Hi, Dan. How are you? Big up. Leverkusen defeat is not an indicator, to be honest. How far in the Premier League marathon is the indicator. Where they sit in February 26th is the indicator. Pep can still give us a KO run in cups. Look, I agree. Didier Hamann, I was referring to what he said, Charles, thanks for your comment, by the way, Charles. I was referring to what he said. He thinks that they'll never win a Champions League or a Premier League again. Now, look, I'm not sure about that, right? Because, City, you look at their team, they've got Haaland, they can build around him. They've got one of the greatest managers. Cherky looks good. Reinders looks good. They've got, slowly. If Man City went and signed Van der Ven in defence, and they've already got Donnarumma, there are players that you could look, if City go and get, they could be back up there again. But I do think that this will be Arsenal's year. And I think if we win the league this year, guys, I know let's just get one in the bag first, but I think we'll be favourites to go and win it again the season after. Big up Dre, man. Thank you, bro. Hi, Dan. Been a while. Hope you're doing well. What a time to be a Gooner. Listen, this is what I keep saying, and it's rattling other fans. I'm saying, what a time to be alive. What a time to be an Arsenal fan. Let's all enjoy it together, man. Let's enjoy this, guys. Every day I'm waking up with a smile on my face. Every time I go to the Emirates, 9 times out of 10, we're winning the game. We're smashing our rivals 4-1. We've got big games in the Champions League. We're going to play against Bayern Munich tonight. What more could you want? We're 6 clear in the Premier League. A big game against Chelsea on Sunday, which I cannot wait for. And we will move on to that shortly. But Dre, thank you for coming and watching the show. Really appreciate it, man. Let's see. Right, Charles. Big up, Charles, man. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for the interaction. Because without the interaction, the lives don't really work. So really appreciate the comments, guys. Dan Thierry said on CBS, fan or club pressure to win the UCL was not there. A lot of the club was content being league consistency and FA Cups. You know what? Listen, the thing is, why Thierry Henry's probably right in saying that, guys, is because we've never won the Champions League, and we never had in our history. We had never got to a final previously. I think once you've won things, you have that demand of winning it more, and that's why everyone wants Arsenal to win the league. Because look, everyone says, if Arteta, he has to win the Champions League, he has to win it, has to win it, spend all this money and whatever else they might say. And this, hold on, we've never won the Champions League in our life. And when people say the league is ours to lose, how can you lose something you've not won for 21 years? You know, Arteta's built this How's the sound now, Charles? Let me know, my bro, please. I don't know what's going on. I have to apologize, man. Dave, is it working now? Let me know quickly, Dave, please, if you can, my bro. The mic's look, the mic's on. I don't know what's going on. Back on, yeah. Look, the mic's working. I don't know what's going on, guys. I have to apologize, man. Amateur hour right here. I'm gonna have to get a new mic, but yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, we're back. Appreciate that, guys. About three people have left, man, because they just, I wasn't saying anything. Look, let me get back to yeah. So like you said, I'll go back to this one, Dre. You were saying that you think Chelsea's going to be a tougher task. I don't see it that way. I think it's going to be men against boys against Chelsea. I think Bayern, that the league champions, they've scored like 41 goals in the league. They're the top scorers in the Champions League. They've got possibly the best player in the world in Harry Kane. I think there'll be a much tougher challenge than Chelsea. Look, Chelsea are at home and they've got a bit of momentum. Esteval looks like a real star, but I just think we're bigger, stronger, more experienced. I just think we've got more nous. I think we've got more tactical nous. I think we go to the bridge, and to be honest, I think we just roll them over. And that's just not me being cocky. That's my honest thoughts. We've not won there in the last 2 years, but the last time Chelsea beat off at Stamford Bridge was 2017 when they had Conte, and we went on to beat them in the final of the FA Cup that year. Might I add? Um, Dave's just said your audio ain't working, mate. I can see you saying Bruno Fernandes is the best midfielder, but I can't hear you. Right, guys, that's what I want to get onto. Right, Bruno Fernandes. Like, I know this is off topic, but Bruno Fernandes, go on, subscribe to Dave Speaks Football. He's a great friend of mine, and he's a Man United content creator. But he seems to think that Bruno is just the best midfielder in the Premier League. What are we saying, guys? Is he the best midfielder in the Premier League? Let me know. Yeah, working now, mate. Appreciate that, man. It's a shame, man, because I had quite a few people here in the chat, and I've lost quite a few people due to these bloody sound issues. I don't know what it is. I think it's like it's plugged in. It says it's on. I don't know what it is. Honestly, it's really frustrating when you're trying to do a live and you're talking and you just said something, and then it's like, oh, no one heard that, man. But here we are. Anyway, listen, we live and we learn, man. I'm gonna order a new mic straight after this. That's for sure, and I'm just going to get a better quality one, even though this is actually quite a quality mic. This mic, it was cost me about £100, so you'd expect it to work. I don't know if it's the mic or the USB, but anyway, that's that done. Now there's some new comments here. Let's check where these new comments are. Hold on a minute, I've missed these ones. Right. Big up Malcolm, always comes in and shows love. Dave, what you saying? Malcolm, done you guys. Everton with a massive win. I really like Everton. I really do like Everton as a football club. My dad's always told me, Everton in the 70s and the 80s, people don't seem to realize how much of a big club Everton were. All right, lad, proper Scouser, not these cop tights Reds. Yeah, mate, definitely. 100%. I could not agree more, mate. Charles says, Dan, I also agree with Chelsea is not a complex challenge. They have strong flair on the wings, but neither CF is great in the air. They don't have a defense. They last beat us in 2021. Yeah, they beat us at the Emirates, I think, 2021. But at Stamford Bridge is 2017. Big up box boy culture. It happens, man. Yeah, appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that, man. Do you mind headset? I used to have Jabra Engage 50, insane quality for sales and calls. I'll check it out, man. Appreciate it. This headset's actually really good, and I can hear perfectly when I'm on streams with other people and stuff like that. So yeah, do you know what? I just kind of naturally put this on, but I'm on my own today. It's usually Dan will be coming on with me. So to be honest, I don't even need this on. I don't really need the mic either when I'm just talking to you guys, to be honest. So if that sound happens again, the mic's coming off, the headphones are coming off, and that's that. Everyone smash the likes for me if you can. Like I said, we're trying to get to that 2K is the mark now. I've got to appreciate every single one of you guys that have come in and showed love to me, showed love to the channel, man. We're a small little channel. We're trying to do our thing. So I really appreciate it. Let's get some predictions, guys, in the chat. What are we saying today? Arsenal, are we going to do Bayern Munich? Because I think we're going to send another message to Europe tonight. I'm going for Arsenal 2-1 win. I do think we will concede. I think we're going to get a late win. I'm going for a 2-1 Arsenal win. Marino and Saka to get the goals. Let me know in the comments, guys, whether you think Arsenal are going to get the big win. Dre, big up Dre. He's gone 2-0 Arsenal. You think we're not going to concede to Bayern Munich? Listen, I can see it. I nearly said 2-0. They might get a Kane penalty or something. He loves a penalty against us, doesn't he, old Harry Kane? But yeah, man, 2-0 Dre says, big up Dre 2K. The 2K is what we're trying to get up to next, Dre. So yeah, everyone smash them like buttons. And he's gone for 1-1 on the weekend. Ooh. Listen, it wouldn't be a disaster, would it, guys, if we were to draw 1-1? It would not be a disaster if we drew with Chelsea. I'm not going to be losing my mind if we draw with Chelsea, because if you stay at the start of the season, if you say, I think we'll beat them at home, draw with Chelsea away, you'd probably take that. But just because of the moment we're in, we need to seize the opportunity. Like Eminem said in 8 Mile, seize the opportunity. We don't have one chance though. That's the thing. But let's go and beat Chelsea. Let's go and knock them out of the title race. Because for me, Liverpool are out of the title race already. If we go and beat Chelsea, they're out of it, and it's down to us and City. And if City lose one more game and we win, yeah, we might as well start celebrating, boys. Seriously. Let's read this from Charles. Talk about today's pitch battles, man. Kane versus Saliba. I was going to come on to that. Olise versus Calafiori. Goretzka versus Declan. Upamecano versus Marino. Saka versus Bischoff. I don't want to predict. Bayern has scared me a lot. Listen, all right, let's get into that, because I was going to come on to this. I'm glad that you've said that, right? So for me, Saliba is the perfect man to go up against Kane. I don't think it's going to be a player that Kane doesn't play against that caliber of player in the Bundesliga. Probably hasn't played against that caliber of player in a while. I think Saliba is got all the attributes to go up against Harry Kane. Harry Kane doesn't rely on pace anyway. He's very intelligent. But for me, Saliba has that guile, has that composure. And everyone says to me, you're scared, or you must be scared about Harry Kane. My Tottenham friend was saying it in my group chat earlier. You must be scared about Harry Kane. I said, listen, we've got the best defense in Europe. All right, we're missing Gabriel, but we've got the man Saliba, who is cool, calm, and collective. Elise versus Calafiori. Listen, I think it could be Elise versus Skelly. That's what I think. I think Skelly's going to play, and I think it will be a fantastic battle. Elise has got that quality. He's been brilliant this season. So that's going to be a key battle. And look, I wouldn't be surprised if Elise came out on top, but I wouldn't be surprised if Skelly come out on top. Calafiori, it depends. He does go wandering sometimes. Elise is a top player. So I don't know, but that is a key battle. You're right. Goretzka, Declan Rice. If Goretzka's playing, I think, Declan Rice is going to run him ragged. He'll run him ragged. I think Declan Rice is going to be key in any of these big European games. You look against Real Madrid last season, he was absolutely phenomenal, Declan Rice. So, yeah, I think he wins that battle. Upamecano, who, listen, I remember when Bayern first got him, and I was hoping Arsenal would get him, but he's looked a bit shaky. He reminds me a bit of Konate. On his day, fantastic, but he's got a mistake in him. He's a bit shaky, but he'll probably feel very comfortable up against a Marino, because Marino, don't get me wrong, he's got a bit of physicality about him. He's good in the air, but he's not gonna run him about, is he? He's not gonna really bother him in that sense too much. So yeah, look, I think Marino, it could be a tough game for him today. I think Marino's good when things are really going well. And if things are not going well, in like an away game against Sunderland, for me, he wasn't that good, but he was fantastic against Spurs. That pass, I do think he's better at home as well, Marino. I think he plays a lot better at home. Saka versus Bishop. Bishop's going to be getting cut, skinned, put on toast, buttered up all night. I think this is going to be I think Saka always rises to the big occasion. So I think Saka today I think Saka's going to score today, and I think he's going to be man of the match. And fair enough that you don't want to predict. I understand that. Let's go through some of these more chats that we've got here, guys. Big up everyone in the chat, man. Honestly, bro, you guys all make this worth doing. Big up Gareth, who's gone for 3-1 to the Arsenal. Tyrell Gunner, go on, subscribe to Tyrell Gunner. He's one of our young gooners, man. Proper good lad, good respectful boy. Apart from the fact he wants Arteta out, he's a good guy. Yeah. Malcolm, big up Malcolm. He says Chelsea Arsenal will be a 1-1 draw, lad. Fair enough. It could easily happen. Dan, we better beat Chelsea. We better beat Chelsea on Sunday. Dan, we better beat Chelsea on Sunday. Yes, we better beat them. If we beat them, listen, I don't want to get too excited, if we don't get me too excited. But yeah, man, we better beat them. That's right. Change my mind. I'm backing my team 3-0. That's what I like to hear. Gareth, my guy, come on, bro. That's what I like to hear. That's why I'm called Positive Dan, bro. Yeah, to bring the positivity out in people, man. C. Walker said, hello all, Arsenal 2-0. Arsenal to beat Bayern Munich 2-0. That's the confidence that I like to hear. And I don't know if I'm going to say this right. I think it's Abdi, I'm just gonna say Abdi, right? Because that's yeah, big up Abdi. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for having a comment. Subscribe if you haven't for us and smash the like button. We need to rotate, need to see MLS Wanyeri and White. Now let's move. Let's talk about Ben White. I'm really glad you bring this up, Ben White, because where do we stand on Benjamin White, guys? Because Benjamin White, let's be real, he was 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 every single week, wasn't he, guys? Ben White, he was, he really was just a top professional. Everything, he was, he came in as a centre back, he got put out to right back, and he was just always done so well. I never forget the link up Odegaard, Saka, and Ben White. It was great stuff, man. And he's so unlucky that Timber's been so good. But since that injury, and look, a lot of the bottom gooners have told me that Ben White's come out and said he played through injury, which doesn't surprise me. Steven Gerrard used to get injections in his legs and in his feet, and all the players do it. They all play through injury. I remember Thierry Henry in 2004 against Liverpool when he scored that famous hat trick, and we went when we were losing 2-1 at half time, and we'd just gone out to United in the cup. We'd just gone out to Chelsea, Wayne Bridge in the quarterfinals, and Thierry Henry played 60% fit and scored a hat trick. But anyway, back to my point. Ben White, I would love to see him play more. I just don't think this is the game to throw Ben White in. I think Ben White would have to play in a couple of games, come on a few times in the Premier League for the last 10, 15 minutes here and there, maybe playing in the Carabao Cup before you throw him in straight away in the deep end against Bayern Munich, because that could be tricky for him if he's up against, a Gnabry or an Elise or whoever it might be starting on that side. But Wanyeri, listen, I would like to see Wanyeri. I would not say no to Wanyeri. I think he needs this. He needs a goal against a big team. He scored against Manchester City last year to make it 5-1. I wouldn't mind seeing Wanyeri on the field today at all. Thing is, where do you play him? You can't drop Eze after he's just scored a hat trick. He's going to be absolutely buzzing Eze. So I don't think you can drop him. But Wanyeri, I'd like to see him come on the pitch. And, he only got 2 minutes against Spurs. I do think he could have came on a little bit earlier against Spurs. And but MLS, I agree. I think Skelly started every Champions League game this season. So I don't see no reason why he won't start again. Let's read this one out. I think Stancic will play left back. Good player. Yes, he's a youngster, isn't he, as well? And yeah, I've heard good things about him. I can't see I've seen too much about him, but I have heard good things about him. But yeah, I mean, he's going to be up against Bukayo Saka, so he wants to be very good tonight. What do we think about Bukayo Saka, by the way, guys? Is he back to his best? Because some people I spoke to, I thought he was excellent against Spurs. Some people just look at goals. Where I sit right behind the dugout, right behind the away dugout, and you can see the game so brilliantly. And I thought Saka was sensational. I thought his work rate, everything about him, his touch, the way he was getting the ball, cutting in, cutting right. I thought Saka was brilliant. Let me know in the comments, because a lot of people said, "Oh, I didn't think Saka was that good today," which I thought he was brilliant. Big up Box, yeah, big up Box Boy Culture. He's gone for 2-0 Arsenal. I like this. Tyrell, yes, I'm going to the game tonight, so I'll see you there, Tyrell, if you're there. See you after by AFTV if you're about, my bro. Sixer, big up Sixer says stop winning. Listen, we can't. That's what we do. That is what we do. But thank you for coming in and giving a comment. Smash me a like, subscribe if you haven't. Would really appreciate it, guys, man, if you can. But yeah, we can't stop winning. We're Arsenal Football Club, and we're entering an era of what I think is going to be a golden era of Arsenal. Like I was saying before, from 98 to 2004, we won 3 Premier League titles. So 98, 2004, 6 years, 3 Premier Leagues, and I think like four FA Cups. So great, but we didn't get the Champions League. Let's go and get the Champions League, guys. Let's get the Champions League this year. I want to know as well, guys, right? There's 20 of you guys watching now. Let me know in the comments, right? I want to see. I want to do a poll, but I'll be honest, guys, I've not quite learned how to do that yet, but I'll do it next time. But let me know in the comments, right? Champions League or Premier League? You can only take one. You can only take one. What are you taking, guys? A Champions League or a Premier League? Because it's such a hard question. I love we're now at a point where having these conversations, White should build fitness for a Brentford start. I agree with that. I agree with that, C. Walker, man. You always talk sense, my guy. Always. Tyrell Gunner says, I'm not going tonight, bro, but I'm doing a watch along. Wicked. If you're not going to the game, go and do a watch along, please, man. And Walker says, Dan, please do a short with the atmosphere at the stadium. Do you know what? I always do it, right? I always do videos. The internet is dead. That's one thing that Emirates needs to sort out. The internet is dead. I take the short, take the video, and then the internet's not working. I try and upload it to Instagram or to YouTube, TikTok. By the way, if you're not following us, follow us on TikTok as well. Gooners Therapy, same tag. We've got like 2,000 followers on that. We've got like over a million views, and that there's a lot of our TikTok's is a bit more popular than our YouTube at the moment, but YouTube is what we're concentrating on. But go on. And then my name is Dan the Gooner, DANDA Gooner on TikTok as well. Both on Instagram. Positive Dan on Instagram. You'll be able to find me as well. Go and follow me on Instagram if you're not following me on there as well, please, guys. Big up Abdi. He's gone Champions League. So he said Champions League. See what I mean? Look how this is going, right? And then big up Matt, man. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate your comment. Smash the like, subscribe if you haven't already, please, my bro. Walker's gone Champions League. Yeah, the Wi-Fi is dead in the stadium, man. Trust me, bro. And then after posting it, it's just not the same. But I have got some stuff on my TikTok of me in the crowd with everyone and stuff. So go and check my TikTok out. I need to change my TikTok to Positive Dan, because that my original name was Dan the Gooner, DANDA Gooner. That's what it is on TikTok. Dan the Gooner 3. It's in my description on my Insta, but I'm going to get that changed to Positive Dan. Positive Dan, by the way, I'm going to give you guys a little background on how Positive Dan came about. I wasn't just this super positive guy. Literally, me and Dan who I do the show with, we were just both called Dan. And when we were talking about football and Arteta, I was very positive. He was very negative, and it just stuck, positive and negative. Dan, I'm positive because I know my team's about to do something special. Trust me, I would not be positive if we were where we were under Emery or at the latter years of Wenger. The Emirates blocks the internet at the stadium, so there isn't any added. Oh, well, this is very interesting. What's Matt saying here? The Emirates blocks the internet at the stadium as there isn't any added modal towers around. Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, I can definitely believe that, man. Arteta out. Why not? Where has this guy been? This guy used to be the main man. I'm talking when I used to only have one or two people watching. Big up him and AFC always. They'd always be in here, showing me love, supporting the channel. And me and him, we'd have banter all the time about Arteta in, Arteta out. That's why he's coming with the banter now. I know you must love Arteta now, really, mate. Now you know he's going to win us all the trophies. Tyrell Gunner's gone UCL. Tyrell said, I'd say UCL because we've already won the Prem 3 times. And that's coming from a young fan, right? You've never seen us win the Premier League, right? I'll give my opinion in a minute, right? Honestly, Bayern and Arsenal are the two best teams in Europe. Big up NSP 2657. Appreciate you coming on. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please like. We're trying to get to 2K followers. Honestly, Bayern and Arsenal are the two best teams in Europe right now. Whoever wins can easily consider themselves the best. I agree. I think whoever wins today is the best team in Europe at the moment. Obviously, then you'd have to go on and win the Champions League to truly be called it at the end of the season. But yeah, man, I totally agree with you, man. And thanks for that. Police jammers. Okay, I'm not sure why not saying there, but yeah, maybe you can elaborate on that, my bro. But thank you for coming back to the channel. Tonight, like Champions League or Premier League, I have to say, listen, we've never won the Champions League. We have never, ever won the Champions League. Not in our history, not once. I've always said I'd take the Champions League over the Premier League. But because I've seen us go so close in the Premier League, because I've seen us go so close with this team, I feel like it's the one they want. It's the one Saka was asked last season. It's such a hard question, man. Like it really is such a hard question, man. It's like I need that Premier League title, man. I need it after the agony of going so close. I need to be at the Emirates on that last day of the season, man. I think I'm going Prem, but I've always used to say Champions League. Give me either one, man. Give me either one, but I think I would just maybe go for the Premier League just because we've gone so close. And over that 38-game season, you are well and truly the best. It's the next round I'm worried about. The next round is in once we get through, or you mean Chelsea on Sunday, Matt? Let me know, bro. Yeah, I'm 19, bro. Never seen Arsenal win the league title. All I've seen is FA Cups. Yeah, and this is another thing, guys. Like, what do we feel about the FA Cups and the League Cups? Because I've said before, I've gone on record saying, I wouldn't take an FA Cup or a League Cup if it meant we finished outside the top 5 and didn't play in the Champions League. Because I think right now we built this squad to win Premier League or the Champions League. This team has not been built over 6 years to go and win a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not turning my nose up at them cups. I want them cups more than anything, but with the Premier League and the Carabao Cup and the Premier League, an FA Cup and the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got to be winning these big trophies now, man. Now, Mr. RF, big up, man. He's got Gyökeres as his picture. So to you, I've got a question. Gyökeres or Marino or Havertz? This is a question I asked earlier. There weren't a lot of people in the chat, so I want to get everyone's opinion on this. In the situation we're in now, a Prem is a must, but UCL will always prioritize until we win it. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Thank you. You just said it. That's what I'm saying. In the situation we're in now, the Prem is a must. 100%. Premier League is a must. But UCL is the priority because we haven't won it. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. It's such a hard question, guys. Here we go. Why not? Police jammers at games stop organized meets. Okay, yeah. I could imagine they do. Of course they do. No, I changed my answer. UCL final, but win the league. Yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying, isn't it, man? Yeah, I know. Even getting to a Champions League final would be big in Europe because we've not been in once. We've only been to one. So that's why even last year, Champions League wise, the league was a disaster last year. Obviously we had a lot of injuries and all of that, but that was our first Champions League semi-final since 2009, and only our second one our third one in our history. We lost to Manchester United in 2009. Ronaldo scoring that unbelievable goal, and of course we beat Villarreal when we went to the Champions League final against Bayern Marino, because I think Chelsea is more important. Therefore, having a fit Gyökeres is essential. Okay, yeah, I agree with you. But in general, there's been people saying to me that they'd rather Marino start than Gyökeres. Like, what do we think about that, guys? Look, here's the question to everyone in the chat. Right, there's 22 of you watching right now. Who would you start if you had Kai Havertz fit? Fully fit Kai Havertz, fully fit Marino, fully fit Gabriel Jesus, and a fully fit Gyökeres. Who are you starting? Glock, let's not fuck around. Yeah, look, okay, Glock, I like that. So he's gone Glock. I would go for Gyökeres too. Big up Piricelli. I hope I'm saying it right, man. Funny thing is, I think Jesus at his best is better than Marino, Havertz, and Gyökeres. But look, Jesus at his best, I agree. He probably is, but he'd probably be fourth in the pecking choice for me because he's just not the same player. Don't get me wrong. If he come back last season, he come back and got 5 goals in 2 games against Palace. He looked unbelievable. I was getting excited. I was like a little kid on Christmas thinking, oh my God, it's happening. Like, Santa Claus is here. Jesus has arrived. But what happened? He got injured. And yeah, that's the story of his career at Arsenal, really, isn't it? If Gyökeres is fully fit and Arteta thinks he can play both, then obviously Gyökeres. Okay, I like that. Gyökeres all day. He's proven himself in the past couple of games. Who are we talking about? Marino? Yeah, Marino I think was fantastic. And Gyökeres, you've gone for there. Interesting stuff, guys. Here's another question for you. Would you guys take a defeat today? If I said to you, we can lose today 2-1, but we beat Chelsea 2-1. On Sunday, would you guys take it? Because I don't think it would really affect us. We're still going to go through the Champions League. It might affect a bit of team morale or team boost, but then we're going to go and beat Chelsea. Would you take a loss tonight if it meant that we're going to go and beat Chelsea on Sunday? Marino and Havertz over Gyökeres all day. I'm Swedish and I've seen this guy play in Sweden. He's not a good footballer. Wow. And I think he's got the legend R9 in his picture there. I like that, bro. That is really interesting coming from someone who's obviously seen him play probably a lot more than me as well. So you would literally go Marino, Havertz over Gyökeres. Wow. What do we think, guys? Does anyone else agree with that? Gyökeres put fear into the eyes of defenders, makes so much space for everyone else. I've been hearing that a lot. And listen, I agree to a certain extent, but I need more goals from him, man. I need some more goals from Mr. Victor Gyökeres. And I think they'll come. That half against Burnley, I thought was the best half I've seen him play. And I know it's only Burnley, but he played Saka in a few times. He should have had a few assists that game. He got the goal and then he had to come off. Let's hope he can come back soon. Why not says no. 100%. says Mr. RFC. Big up. Guys, everyone, make sure you're smashing them likes for me. Please smash them likes for me. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Help us get up to the next milestone of 2,000 subscribers. I want both, but if it was one or the other, Chelsea. Yes, I agree. I agree with you. 9 point dagger over Chelsea, 100%. Yeah, I think we're all agreeing. I want to win today, so Sunday will be a real statement game for the Prem. Yeah, 100%. But if you had to choose a win, if I said you can only win one of them, which one would you choose, Matt? I think we would all choose Sunday. Going clear in the Premier League, because it's not like this is a knockout game. Then maybe maybe it'd be different. Out of Kulugeski, Isaac Elanga, and Gyökeres comes last, man, in terms of footballing ability. Maybe so, but what's going on with Isak? What is going on with Isak? If you're Swedish, you tell me what's going on, because I always thought Isak was a tad overrated. I remember when Arsenal we first linked with him back in, what year was it? Just before Newcastle got him. A few years ago, Arsenal were linked with him. I checked his goal stats, and it was like he only had 4 goals. And I was like, well, 4 goals. And then he went to Newcastle and obviously was fantastic. But Newcastle built that whole team around him. So it's like, look at Chris Wood. Not saying, he's obviously technically better than Chris Wood, but Chris Wood is the whole team was built around him at Nottingham Forest last season. So everything was played through to him. The whole system was built to find crosses to Chris Wood. And I feel like it was the same with Isaac at Newcastle. And people were really annoying me, man. They were saying, oh, it's better than Haaland now. I'm like, Haaland is the most elite striker in world football. The guy has got like 300 goals. He's only like 23 or whatever it is. Isak's not got half that. So it really frustrated me when people were comparing him to Haaland. But let me know, man. What do you think? Do you think he's going to come good? Because I don't think he's going to come good at Liverpool. I don't know about you guys, but I really don't think he's going to come good at Liverpool. Yeah, Marino and Havertz can eat dirt and kick rocks. We know they're limited. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm not disagreeing. They're definitely limited in terms of pace and power and things like that. But they can definitely do a job, and they can help us win the Premier League, and they can help us win the Champions League. Oh, wow. He said he'll take tonight a win. Can you give us your reasons for that? Because I don't think many people would choose a win tonight over a win against against Chelsea, which there's so much more jeopardy in that. So Matt, appreciate the comment, but let us know your reasons behind that. He didn't prioritize getting fit and sharp during preseason to get his Liverpool move. He's paying a price now. Not professional. Have to agree with you. 100%. 100%. I agree with you on that, man. It really is not professional. And I don't think he's not moved professional at all, has he really, guys? What do we think, guys? Is he the new Fernando Torres? For any of you younger guys in the chat, Fernando Torres was on fire at Liverpool, went to Chelsea for 50 million. Although he did help them win the Champions League, his overall stint there was very poor. Let's read this out. Perfect world is Gyökeres to start and trouble defenses for 70 minutes, then Havertz for the pace. Yeah, do you know what? Listen, I agree, mate. I agree. If it was a Champions League final now, I'd be starting Gyökeres and Havertz would be coming on for 20 minutes. That's probably what I'd go with. But look, if Mikel Merino scores tonight and then he scores against Chelsea, I may change my mind. We have points in the bag in the Prem. We do, but we have points in the bag in the Champions League as well. This is not a knockout game, Matt. So even if we were to lose to Bayern today, we're still going to go through. Our next games are Inter Milan away, Club Brugge away, and I think the other one is Kyriat at home. So Kyriat and Bruges, we're probably going to win both of them. If you just beat Kyriat, we'd still go top. They're like, there's no world we don't beat them. Let's read this. I don't care about this pure footballer thing. Be the best. Listen. C Walker, me and you, bro. We must have the same mind, because I agree with you. I hear it too much about pure footballer this, pure footballer that. This person's better than Haaland because he's better technically and better this, better that. I don't care who's banging me the goals, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. I'm with you on that, man. I have to agree with you, man. Why not? Says Gyökeres is striker. The other two are bums. I wouldn't call them bums. I think that's harsh. I wouldn't call Havertz a bum. I wouldn't call Marino a bum. Look what he's doing. He's having big moments. His bums don't score against Real Madrid. They don't have excellent games against. Well, bums probably do have excellent games against Tottenham. But yeah, yeah, I think that's harsh. He's got hat tricks for Spain. He's a Spanish international. I wouldn't call Marino a bum, but this is how Why Not is, guys. That's just how he is. We need tonight. We need to earn our respect from Bayern. I think they respect us without a doubt. But I get what you mean. We need to show them what we're about and try and get some revenge. Big up, Dan. Hope you're good. Big up, Godfrey. Another guy who's been here from day one, always showing us love. Appreciate it. And yes, please, if you could smash the likes, it would mean the world to us. Marino makes me realize how much of a bum Giroud was for us. Somehow Marino was more consistent. I'm not so sure about that. Giroud did listen. Giroud had that one season in 2016 when Leicester won the league, and everyone hates him because of that, right? Obviously, he's moved to Chelsea and all of that, but it was that season when he didn't score for like 10 games in a row. Ozil was on 18 assists, 19 assists. He was going to break Henry's record, and Giroud didn't score, and I think that's why. But apart from that season, though, Giroud scored a lot of goals for Arsenal, a lot of important goals as well. He even got a goal in the FA Cup final. He got an assist in an FA Cup final in 2017 to set up for Ramsey. So yeah, man. Look, I think Giroud was got a lot of stick. Our fans do give players a hard time sometimes. So, you know, I'm not sure I agree with that. But anyway, Martinelli scored against Madrid, another bum. I wouldn't call him a bum either. I would say, is he good enough to start for Arsenal? Probably not. And he actually won me a lot of money when he scored that goal because I had £300 on Arsenal to beat Real Madrid that day, and I think we were like 3 or 4 to 1. I remember it was a nice. I think I won like 1,500-1,600 quid. It was a good away trip to go to, but my ticket was £500, and I just couldn't believe I paid that much for it. I was in the Madrid end. And yeah, I wanted to get my money back. So I thought, you know what? I think we're going to beat them. And I stuck 300 on Arsenal. And I think we were like 4-1. And I think I got 1,500 back. Martinelli scoring in the last second. It was brilliant stuff. I've got it on my Instagram, me celebrating in the Bernabeu. If you want to go and check that out, Positive Dan on Instagram. Yeah, let's be honest. Gyökeres hasn't scored the amount of goals you all probably wanted at this stage. Just stat padding against some newly promoted teams. Okay, I agree, but he is our top goal scorer with 6 goals. He did get 2 goals against Atletico Madrid, and they're not a newly promoted team. So I think Gyökeres will come good. Whether he's going to be this guy, I'm not sure our system is going to suit is for a player to come and score 30 goals. But I think he can have a big say in whether we win the Premier League or not. And if Gyökeres gets 12 goals and we win the Premier League, I'll be over the moon. I'll be happy. I'll get Gyökeres on my shirt, whatever the weather. I don't even think Mourinho is a good CM anyone. He's convinced me this guy's a striker. Yeah, look, I don't think he's been particularly impressive in midfield for us at all. Attacking midfield, I remember him against Ipswich one year. Was it last year? Thought he was good, but again, Ipswich, it's not really anything to boast about. Ciao DRFC, big up Dan. I tried to find a way to get in touch with you to get you on a previous, but couldn't find a way to reach you. So at the same handle, my bro, Gooners Therapy is our Instagram. Message me on there. My Instagram, my personal one, is Positive Dan. Can message me on there. Yeah, man, just message me on Instagram. That's the best way. You want to get me on touch? I don't know. I'm not sure if you want me to come on your show or you want to come on ours, but whatever, bro. We can work it out, man, for 100%, man. Appreciate you coming on, showing love and dropping a comment. It's all about the BMT right now. The other game we should play Max Dowman and win. Max Dowman in what games would you want to play Max Dowman in? Let me know, bro. Which game would you want to play Max Dowman in? I don't think we could be playing him in Premier League games. Big up Dan, trying to find a way to get in touch with you on a preview, but couldn't find a way to reach out. Okay, yeah, I'm up for it, man. So, like I said, the same name as our channel is our Instagram. Drop me a DM on there, or my personal one is Positive Dan. Guys, go and follow me on Instagram as well, please. What are you saying for the match tonight? I've gone for a 2-1 Arsenal win. I've gone 2-1 Arsenal win. Marino and Saka to get the goals, and I think Saka's going to have a brilliant game. Yes, Godfrey's like, yes, why not's back in the building, man. Why not was the captain of this channel, but he left us, but he's back now, and I'd love to have him back. Giroud had some special goals, but he was insanely inconsistent. Marino seems to score most games. Plus, he never played for Chelsea. Yeah, I hear that, my bro. I hear that. We're beating you on Sunday. Oh, Chelsea boys here. Chelsea boy. That's what I like to see. My bro, you're not gonna beat us on Sunday. I promise you, you're not gonna beat us. You ain't beat us in your own ground since 2017, and it ain't gonna happen. It's gonna be men against boys. I promise you that. But thank you for coming and dropping a comment. Who would you have starting over the course of the season if it was Odegaard, Trossard, Eze are all fit with Eze move? Oh, this is a great question. This is a great question. Who would you have starting over the course of the season if Odegaard, Trossard, Eze are all fit with Eze moving left wing? If you start Odegaard, I have to be honest, right now, Eze, sorry, Odegaard. Odegaard, he's going to be in the squad today. So if he comes on and gets a hat trick, then maybe we'll have a different conversation. But for me, Eze does not get moved out to that left now. He'd be wasted out there. He stays in the centre where he is. Trossard doesn't get moved because he's been our best attacker this year. So Odegaard has to hold the bench for me. Great question, though. And look, let's put that question out to everyone else watching as well. Jez, Jez is Arsenal. Big up, Jez, man. Thank you for coming and sharing some love. Afternoon, my friend, man. I hope you're well, and I hope that you're a bit more positive after we've smashed Tottenham 4-1. Play Max Skelly and Wanyeri in the next UCL. Okay, I've got you. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Against Kiryat or Bruges. Bruges is our next game. I'm going to Bruges. I should know that. So yeah, I 100% agree with you. No, I understand, Matt. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Let's get today. Go strong today, 100%. I think Skelly can play today because he's shown he can play at this level. So I wouldn't start Wanyeri or Max today. But yeah, once we're through, play whoever you want, honestly. Exactly, he hasn't scored enough because the team is defensive and safety first, a systematic problem. It's funny you say that because who scored the most goals in the Premier League? Arsenal. Same as Man City, 24 goals scored. So I'm not having it. Sorry, why not? I'm not having it that we're a defensive team at all. Teams come in and play low blocks against us. What do you expect us to do? Um, you go into the game tonight? Yes, I am going to the game. That's why I've done the live at this time. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm very excited. And look, this is the first time I've done a live on my own at this time before a game. And just want to say, man, I'm pleasantly surprised by the amount of people that have been tuning in, watching. And listen, it doesn't work without you guys giving me all these comments in the. So I just want to thank everyone. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for everyone who's been commenting. Thank you, everyone who's watching. Thank you for everyone who's liking. It's just this, it means a lot to us, man. So thank you very much. Not enough creativity through the middle. Listen, we've got Eze scoring hat tricks. Why not? Just smile, man. Enjoy it. This is going to be Arsenal's golden era. We're going to win trophy after trophy. Trust me, my bro. We're going to win all. We're going to win everything, man, under this manager. Eze can create from anywhere. Left wing, 10 doesn't matter. I don't know. I think on the left when he's out there, I don't know. I don't know if he can create as much as he can. Now, I was with you at the start of the season. I was like, look, we've got to get him on the left because we need Odegaard in the middle. But after that game at Tottenham, the guy looked like he was in training mode. I think outside on the left, we play a lot to the right to Saka. I don't know. When you're in the middle, you get that ball, you demand that ball. Now, look, I don't want to say anything, but you know what? Honestly, I think that Eze, there could be a little bit of Dennis Bergkamp in there. Now, don't shoot me down. Bergkamp's a legend, my favourite player. But I'm talking about the way he glides around the box and he's the coolest man on the pitch. This is a man who scored in a semi-final for Palace, scored in the final, just got a hat-trick in a North London derby, 60,000 fans, and a lot of people were starting to give him a bit of stick. So yeah, man, I think Eze is best. Imagine Bergkamp was out on the left. I don't think it works. I know they're different players, but for me, we need to see him in that middle now. Big up Godfrey. Jez's Arsenal says, I'm always positive, mate. Okay, all right. Well, maybe it's just the manager you're not positive about. So let's try and be a bit more positive about Mikel Arteta if we can, my friend. But look, with some people, I get it. He's got to win the trophy first. So listen, we all have our own ways of the way we deal with things in our heads and stuff. And listen, let's hope. Well, I know it's going to happen, but let's hope he can win everyone, Mikel Arteta, win everyone round, and win the Premier League. And who knows, we could even win the Champions League this year. Could you imagine that, guys? Could you imagine the parade? Could you imagine how special it would be if Arsenal went and won the Premier League and the Champions League? Could you imagine it? Oh, North London, what would be happening? It would be absolutely crazy. The scenes it would be like, it would just be nothing short of magnificent. And it's what's going on in my head every night before I go sleep. Could this happen? Could Arsenal go and do it? Look, forget, not even the Champions League. I'm just picturing the Premier League, a sunny day in May, all of us Arsenal fans together. We've all suffered. Doesn't matter if you were Arteta in, out, if you were Wenger in, out. It doesn't matter. It just, we'd all be together and we'd all be celebrating our team win the Premier League in May. Let's hope we can go and do it, man. And listen, let's get the win tonight. And then obviously, big game against Chelsea. We beat Chelsea. That's them out of the title race. And listen, things will really be kicking on then. And I'll have a great Christmas, that's for sure. Rodrigo says, I somewhat agree, but I would move Odegaard into the 8 against smaller teams and play Eze alongside him with Rice or Zubi behind. And big games depends on the front three. Okay, so you're saying you'd move Odegaard into the 8. Okay, look, we did try that against West Ham. We did try it against West Ham. We played Odegaard, right? I think Arteta as well, he's kind of listened to the fans a little bit, right? Because against Newcastle, after we went negative, as people were calling it, with Marino, that midfield of Marino, Odegaard, or Marino, Zubi, and Rice, sorry, he changed it. And he said, I'm letting the handbrake off. We went against Newcastle, we beat him 2-1. And against West Ham, he rested Zubamendi, but it was 0-0. Then Odegaard came off because his shoulder. Zubamendi come on, and then we won the game 2-0. So, look, I mean, I think there's a time to try it, but I don't think the time is now, Rodrigo. Here we go. Eze shooting now reminds me of Odegaard. Ozil shooting that used to, yeah, look, I agree. He used to score. Odegaard, that 22-23 season, 15 league goals. He was a special season from him, man. The OG himself, the Godfather, Jez, good afternoon, sir. Yes, big up, Jez, man. Appreciate you coming in and showing some love. Would like to get you on one day as well, Jez, if possible, man. I'd love to get you on and talk some football, man. A lot of the people that I watch football with are my dad's friends, so they're all probably similar age to you and stuff. And it's good learning, learning about the club's history. I remember when we drew with West Ham 2 seasons ago, and we threw the title away and Saka missed a penalty, and they were telling me about how, because we all know about 89, but the ending of the season of 1989, we were top clear, and then we drew a few games. I think it was Wimbledon, and I can't remember the other team, maybe Ipswich, and they were like saying, don't worry, this has happened before, we're still going to do it. Obviously they gave me false hope and we didn't end up doing it, but yeah, nonetheless, I love speaking to older fans about football. I was on with DJB last night, and DJB, by the way, Jez, has predicted us to win the Champions League this season. So listen, right, this is what I like to hear. I'm talking about providing 60, 80 million pound striker. I don't want funds and time wasted. Okay. Tuning in from Florida. Big up, man. Listen, look, that makes me just feel like, wow, I've got someone from Florida sitting here, listen to me talk about a club that I love more than anything in the world. Thank you so much, man. Please smash the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't before. What time will the game be tonight where you're watching it in Florida? Let us know. It's all sweet. Likewise, Jez. Hope you and the missus are well. Good stuff from Why Not. Here we go. Right. Other fans I know are scared of what's going to come, but I had to remind them that we wouldn't want it any other way. The fear that only make the glory, the fear only makes the glory sweeter. 100%, 100%. And our rival fans are getting rattled now. They're getting fearer. My friend David, who was in the chat earlier, David Speaks Football. He is the most rattled I've ever seen him, and he's a Manchester United fan because they can see it. Everyone has eyes, and everyone can see what's about to happen. And I've seen this before. Some people, they use it as a coping mechanism. We're not going to win it. We're not going to do it. We're this, we're that. We're going to fall off. And I'm not just doing this. I'm not just doing it for no reason. I'm not doing it for clicks or for anything like that. I genuinely believe this team is going to win trophy after trophy. I genuinely do in my heart of hearts. I think we'll win the Premier League, and I think we've got a big chance in winning all the other trophies too. So, things are looking really good for Arsenal, and I really do believe. Jez says, I really hope we beat Bayern tonight. We have to beat our nemesis. Yeah, look, I mean, I think every Arsenal fan can agree that Bayern Munich, we owe them one. We really do owe them one. And I don't care, even if it's just a win. We do owe Bayern Munich one. Them them things I can't get out of my head. I went to Bayern Munich away when we lost 5-1, and I remember it being half time, Sanchez scoring the penalty and it going 1-1, and thinking, yes, like we've got a chance. Before you know, we're 3-1 down, and we all know the rest, man. So yeah, let's hope we can do that, man. It's still early, but we're looking good to win something this season, one game at a time. Yeah, I agree. We definitely are. We are looking good. And look, one game at a time, I'm enjoying every game. You know, I go to games and I'm just really enjoying being an Arsenal fan, and no one's going to take that away from me, man. Um, exactly my think, Jez. Blood must spill. Yeah, hopefully. Exactly your thinking. Anytime, Dan. Top man, Jez. Appreciate it. Oh yeah. Oh, so hold on. I think hold on. Where was we saying? Because I was saying thanks for coming on, so I thought you said any time, but I think I asked you to come on. So yeah, Jez, what's your put your Instagram? How do I get in contact with you, Jez? Yeah, if you can, or maybe I'll just come and comment on one of your videos or something. But yeah, hopefully if you get an Instagram or something like that, or I'm not sure, a way of contacting you would be brilliant. All this talk, but at the point we could start anyone anywhere, and I wouldn't question it. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Well said, Rodrigo. I would not question anything right now. Agreed, beating Bayern would conjure many demons of the past. 100%. I agree. I think we're set up with a squad to win the CL. Wow. Wow. There you go. Jez thinks that this team could go on and win the Champions League. And you know what? I have to agree. We're so defensively good. It's hard to score goals against us, you know? So if we score against a team, whoever it is, they're going to have a real hard chance of scoring against us. So yeah, man, it could be a real special season. United are supremely dusty at the moment. Yes, they are. And United are dusty. Spurs are dusty. City don't look the same. Chelsea are they're there or thereabouts at the moment. But look, Arsenal are clearly the best team right now, and it's a great feeling. Big up, look at that. He'll be watching it at 3 p.m. We'll be watching it at 8 p.m. Crazy how the world works. But that's good stuff, man. And what's it like in Florida? What are the bars like and that? Is there many Arsenal fans there? I would love to go to Florida one day. Agreed. More confident this compared to past seasons, especially with other teams' inconsistencies. Yeah, this is what it is as well. It's not me just looking at Arsenal and thinking, wow, like, we can do this. We've got the best team. I look at the teams around us and I look at Manchester City and think, this is not the same Man City as before. I don't look over my shoulder and see Kevin De Bruyne, who scares the life out of me. I don't see a prime David Silva. I'm not seeing that caliber of a player. I'm not seeing John Stones at his best. Him and Diaz, how they were that season in the middle. Rodri's not there. And if he is there, he's not the same player. So Man City are not the same. Liverpool, we all know the problems they've got right now. They're already out of it for me. They're 11 points behind us. So really, you're looking at, I'll always be a little bit scared of City because of the PTSD, because of what's happened before in the past. So I'll always be just a little bit scared of Manchester City. But look, I think they're done, man. I think this is our title. This is our title this year. Bayern fan here. Okay, look at that. I've got a Bayern fan. That is brilliant. Bayern fan here. Going to be a fun game. Excited to see how we do against your defense. Watch out for our youngster, Leonard Cole. Wow. I will watch out for him. Will he be starting the game? And like and subscribe if you haven't. Please, everyone, help us get to 2,000 subscribers. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'd appreciate it very much. This Bayern game will say a lot because I can't see us conceding a lot over two legs unless they can prove that tonight. Very good point. The last time we conceded 3 goals was against Luton when we beat them 4-3. So, yeah, I mean, you're right, 100%. You are 100% right. I have to agree with you on that one. Let's check. Just checking something, guys. Bear with me. Just seeing if anyone's on right now that could give me a raid. There's no one on right now. I need to start getting them raids, man. Big up Dan Potts. He's the only one so far that's give us a raid, and we got quite a lot of subs from that. So hopefully someone can give us a raid sooner or later. Let's see this. Okay, here we go from the Bayern fan. Carl will likely start since Diaz is out. Okay, so yeah, look, Diaz, what a player. What a player. I have to say, when everyone was saying Liverpool are going to win it, Liverpool, if they get Isaac, I was like, no one's talking about the players they lost. Diaz got like 15 goals in the Prem last year. He starts the press, So Yeah, man, what a miss. And listen, I'm so glad he's not playing tonight. But yeah, I'm gonna look out for this guy because I'll look, he's gonna be up against Jurian Timber. So I think it's gonna be a very tough challenge for him. But look, Rodrigo says he's been nuts as well. I've seen little clips here and there, and he does look like a very neat player, but he's up against a beast in Jurian Timber today. Is Odegaard likely to play? He'll be on the bench, I think. It's looking like he'll be on the bench from Mikel Arteta's press conference. I can see this game going either way, but I'm confident Arsenal can win 1-0 or 2-1. Yeah, look, it could go either way. You know, it could easily go either way, man. It really could go either way. Subbed, bro. Appreciate that, my man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Um, Jez, about getting in contact with you to try and do a show with you. I'm not sure how I'd go about it, but I'll speak to Potts because I'm sure Potts has probably got your details or something like that. Yo, Alex, no chance of Jackson left wing. Is this defo not Carl? Yeah, I mean, look, Jackson, he was, he was, how can I say it? At Chelsea, but he did have moments, didn't he, guys? He did have moments in the Chelsea shirt. You know, I don't think he's as bad as every single person makes out. Elise is better than Yamal. Timber needs to be at his usual best. Ooh, wow. Wow. Elise is better than Yamal. So what do we think? What Elise is going to be playing on the left? Is that what we think? He's been playing in the centre quite a lot for Bayern Munich. Is it not Diaz that plays on the left? So then it'll be that youngster on the left, Walker. Let me know in the comments, guys. Please smash them likes for us. And what do we think? Let's move on to Chelsea because Chelsea obviously have just had a massive, massive victory against Barcelona. What are we thinking against Arsenal Chelsea, guys? Let me know in the comments. Are Arsenal going to beat Chelsea? And just how big is that game? Just how big is it? Olise is clearing that fraud. What? Listen, we can't be calling. Come on, guys, what we doing here, man? We can't be calling Yamal a fraud, man. He's 17 years old and he's one of the best players in the world. He might be 18 by now, but come on, guys, he's not a fraud. Come on. There are some Bayern fans that think we should play Kane in the more of a 10 tonight and have Jackson play up front. Jackson could play, but Carl is in such good form right now. Wow. Well, look, Kane could play in the 10, though, couldn't he? He's such an amazing player, Harry Kane, isn't he? Who do we think is the best striker in the world right now? Erling Haaland, Kane, or Mbappe? Who's the best striker in the world? Who do we think? For me, out and out striker, I just like Haaland. I'd take Haaland, but as an all-round player, it's probably Kane. Is Kane the best player in the world right now? Are we up against the best player in the world today in Harry Kane? Because his numbers have been absolutely insane this year. Absolutely insane. They really have. They really, really have. And it's gonna be a big challenge for our defense today. Attitude problem with your Mal. Look, listen, it seems that way. It does seem that way. Finishing second in the Ballon d'Or with 9 goals over people like Kane and Rafinha is crazy. That's why I think he's overrated. Yeah, but I think what it is it's the eye test. And Spain obviously won the Euros and he did well in the Champions League. But is that where he come? Did he come second? Wow, he came second to Dembele. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he should have come second. I do not think he should have come second. But some people say watching him just by the eye test that he's the best player in the world. For me, I don't think so. I mean, Salah was unbelievable last year. All right, he didn't have the greatest Champions League campaigns, but he was unbelievable last year, wasn't he? Toss up between Kane and Haaland. Agreed. Agreed. It's a bad day to say I wouldn't mind losing to Bayern. I know this game is huge, but it's only a group stage game. I'd rather Arsenal build on the league. Look, I was saying it earlier. If you told me now you can win one and lose one, I'm obviously going to say lose today and beat. As long as it's not a bad loss and beat Chelsea, because Chelsea is the more important game. You're 100% right. I watch Haaland more. I would say Haaland, but Kane looks crazy too. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with that. Kane has the all-round game. Yeah, Aguna's view. I like this. Aguna's view from block 5 or whatever it is. I need to, if you do content and stuff, man, I need to jump on your channel. I'll check it out after, my bro. I always like Saka. Obviously, I don't want him to do well tonight, but for the sake of good competition, I hope he plays well for you guys tonight. That's fair, man. I appreciate that, man. Jez says Haaland for me, he's a beast. Yeah, I agree with you, Jez. I agree 100%. Haaland is he's just like he's from another world. This guy, and raw pace and power, and he would if he was at the Emirates, he'd be getting me off of my seat every single time. He really, really would. He really would, man. Haaland is something special, isn't he? What do we think between the battles today between Saliba and Kane? Who's going to come out on top? Because I think it will definitely be Saliba against Kane. Obviously, Hincapié will be playing, who has played against him in Germany. I'm not sure what the games were like between Leverkusen and Munich last year, but the year before, he wouldn't have lost either because they were unbeaten that season under Alonso. So that's going to be a key battle for sure. And what about today in the midfield? Are we going for the same three? Do you think Zubimendi, Rice, Eze? Is that what you think Mikel's going to go with? Does Skelly come in? Does Skelly come in today over Calafiori? He started every other Champions League game, so I think we could see Skelly today come in, and he was brilliant against Atletico Madrid, wasn't he? He really was. This is interesting here from Alex, who's obviously a Bayern fan. Saliba will win. I wouldn't be surprised if we drop Kane into the deep 10 or the 8 role for wingbacks and other attackers to run past him. Interesting, really interesting. I think he starts up top, though. I just think the goal record, I can't see past it. But you probably know more than me being a Bayern Munich fan. I think it will be more Hincapié versus Kane. Kane comes deep a lot and normally have Gabriel and Hincapié following the striker. Saliba sweeping. Very good point. Very good point. That is a good point. I'll put my Insta in your chat, Dan. Okay, brilliant. I'll message you on Insta, my man, Jez. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Lamea almost plays like a winger for us. Okay. All right. Well, that should be an interesting battle today then. Just gonna go back to get Jez's Insta so I can quickly take a picture of it somewhere. Where is it? Do you know what it is? I'm not sure if you can go back through the chat once the stream's ended. I'm sure I'll find you anyway. Jez, it's probably Jez Arsenal 1967, isn't it? I'll find it, but I'm just because I'm so new to this, guys. I'm not sure if I can go back and forward and look for it. But anyway, I'm sure I'll find it. Now, guys, what do we think? What does Mikel Arteta have to do this season to appease everyone, right? What is it? Is it the league or the Champions League? What if we won an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup, like a double? What if we just won the FA Cup and finished second? No Champions League. Would that be enough? Let me know in the comments what Arteta needs to do this year to appease all of us fans and to continue on in the job. Lamela is such an underrated player for Bayern. Plays so many different positions. It doesn't look out of place. Do you know what? He's got great intelligence. That player as well. He's anytime I've seen him play, I thought Sky. He's got the brain. He's got the brain, hasn't he? You hope we rotate heavily. Wow. I really don't. I have to disagree. I don't want us to rotate heavily because I think if we rotate heavily against a top team like Bayern Munich, who scored 60 goals this season, we could end up getting demolished, and we can't have that. We cannot have like that would ruin our moral. Honestly, look what City, they rotated 10 players and lost at home 2-0 to Leverkusen. I don't want us to do that, man. But thank you for the comment. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you're subscribing. Yeah, bro, been doing some small content. Need to work up the rate like you have been. Yeah, bro, this is what I've clocked with this thing is consistency. I look at all of the best people in our thing, and they're just consistent. I wanted to go to the gym and go and have a spa, and I thought, let me just do a little live, and I'm so glad I did it because this has been probably one of the best lives that I've done. Honestly, it really has. We've had a lot of people watching for our small channel. So, like I said, appreciate every one of you watching. Appreciate all the comments. Appreciate everyone liking. It's It's really good. But yeah, listen, man, if you ever want to jump on our channel or we jump on yours, just message me on Gooners Therapy Instagram or Positive Dan. That's my own personal one. Either me or Dan will get back to you, and you can come on our show, man, or we can come on your show, and we all help each other out, man. That's what I have noticed. There's a lot of people that are willing to help, man. So yeah, just shout us anytime, my bro. I'm very interested to see how the Sanic and Lama deal with our wingers. Yeah, yeah, I think it could be a long night for them. One major trophy, Prem or UCL, especially because of where we are now. Yeah, I agree. Jez says he has to win the PL or CL now. I agree. I agree. I'm Arteta's Dan, my mate who I do the show with, calls me Arteta's lawyer. But even me, Arteta's lawyer, I think it's got to be the Premier League or the Champions League now. We haven't built this team to go and win a Carabao Cup. Do you know what I mean? As much as I think I want to win that, because I think it will give us great confidence going into the rest of the season, I think our second team can do a decent job. It's a dead rubber of a game, not worth any big injuries. No way. You put that team out, he made 10 changes against Brighton, we would lose this game. And it would, yeah, nah, no way. I don't know how many change. When you say rotate heavily, I mean, what do you mean? 6, 7 changes? I don't, no, with players that have never played together before against Bayern Munich, the form team in Europe, I would not be doing that at all. Let me know in the chat, guys. Do you agree with, I'm just going to say AM because I can't really read the rest of it, and I don't want to get people's names wrong. Rodrigo says, not gonna lie, I think we could never turn on Arteta now, but losing on the league this season would be catastrophic. Yeah, look, exactly. Even he's got us to the position. Now go and win it for us, man. 100%. I think we have to take the game serious and start our main team. But if anyone feels a slight injury, don't take a risk and sub them off. You've just said it spot on. 100 million%. That is 100% agreed. 100 million% agreed. I'm starting to get buzzing now. That anticipation is starting to get through me now. You know, going to be at the Emirates. Absolutely buzzing. Cannot wait for tonight's game. You know, there's something about the Champions League games. Obviously, we didn't have the Champions League for 7 years, guys. And Mikel Arteta comes along, and even in his first 2 years, he couldn't quite get us there. And now we're back in, or first 3 years, and now we're back in. It was eighth, and then it was fifth, and since then we're back in the Champions League. Of course, the first season we go out to Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals. Last year is PSG in the semi. Is this year going to be the final? Is this the year we get to the final? My scoreline prediction: Arsenal AFC 8137 is 2-1 to Arsenal. Please, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We're a new channel. Well, I say we're new, but we've been doing it since the start of the season. I'm just used to saying we're new, but I guess it's still relatively new. Please smash the like button for us, and please subscribe. Would really appreciate it. Would you like to see Noni start today? Very good question, because at the start of the stream, I said personally I'd make 2 changes. I'd let Trossard have a breather, even though he's a big game player, scored against Bayern a few years ago. He's 30 years old. I'd give Trossard a rest because you've got Madueke, you've got Martinelli. And what's interesting is that he brought on Madueke instead of Martinelli. So I think he's just that little bit more fit than Martinelli, or Arteta just fancies him more. I would like him. So in answer to your question, yes, I would like to see him play. I would. Amaji Day. I'm really crap at names, so sorry if I've butchered your name, but thank you for your comment, my bro. I'm a bit worried about the set plays. Yeah, so I've heard that Bayern Munich have been Bayern Munich. There was this article, and I don't know how true it is, but apparently they're really fearful of Arsenal and fearful of the set plays. But our main man from the set plays, Gabriel's not there. So that should fill you with a bit of confidence. And our last 2 games, we've scored 6 goals and we've not scored from 1 set piece. No, this is a big game, says Jez. We have to prove a point and show our intentions to take down Bayern. Yeah, I agree. So we've got to go strong, haven't we, Jez? We have to go strong today. Maybe 1 or 2 changes, and that's it for me. Not gonna lie, with Noni, he loses so much rather. Not gonna lie, with Noni, lose so much better on the right. And I rewatched Saka versus Watford, where he played left wing and Pepe right wing. Saka right wing, Madueke right could work for some games. Do you know what? Yeah, I have to agree with you, man. I think Saka can do it on any side. I really do. But yeah, um, I agree. Noni Madueke looks better on the right for sure. But if he could replicate that form on the right, on the left, I think I think we could be in some serious. We could really be going somewhere if he could do that. Jez has said 2-0 to the Arsenal. I like that. I've gone 2-1. He's gone 2-0. So that's brilliant. That's a good prediction. Hincapié in the Bundesliga was crazy on set pieces. Do you know what? You've just reminded me. I remember seeing videos of when we signed him, and he was like, hey, he was formidable. So hopefully that's the case. I've subscribed, seen you on other channels. I didn't know you had a channel. See, this is the thing, right? Thank you so much for subscribing first. Is that the goat that you've got in your picture? Looks like it. Anyway, thank you for that. This is the thing. When I'm on other channels, right, I'm like, put my name up, and you think you're going to get all these subscribers. For example, I'll go on the Football Terrace, and you think, you know what, like, surely he's got 30,000 people watching when I do straight facts, or however many, or 5,000 watching, but it might go up to 20 or 30,000 views, and your name's up in the corner, and you think, I'm going to get all these subs, and you look and you've got like 2 subscribers. And I think a lot of people don't know when you're in these other shows that you do your own content. But yeah, thanks for finding me. Appreciate it. And thank you for subscribing. Let's read this. Kane spoke about set pieces, and I've heard Bayern don't do well with crosses. Well, that is music to our ears, isn't it? Hopefully, we can win the game of a set piece today. That would be brilliant. It's a big game for Arsenal, isn't it? Bayern Munich, man. We went out to them last time. We drew 2-2 at home, and then we lost 1-0 over there. As soon as they scored, I didn't expect us to go through. But tonight, I think we've got a big chance. The takes on AFTV were some of the best, so I came over and dropped a sub. I love to see positivity when so many people look down on Arteta. Big up, Rodrigo. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, to be fair, AFTV is probably where we got quite a lot of our subscribers when I went on AFTV. Cecil was kind enough to at our channel, and listen, every time I get a chance, I just say, yeah, Gooners Therapy. So thank you for subscribing. Hopefully I'm on there today doing a very good fan cam. Hopefully I'm buzzing. Might have missed it at the start, but what's your opinion on Ben White? I understand Timber's quality, but I would have expected more minutes. Listen, I totally agree. So with Ben White, he was like my favourite Arsenal player. That link up, Ben White, Odegaard, and Saka, was special, wasn't it? It was a special link up. Ben White was always a 7, 8, 9 out of 10 every single week. He was, he's a top player, man, Ben White. And since that injury, he's not quite been the same. For me, I would like to see him come on for the last 10, 15 minutes in games. And then if you need to start him, he's ready. If Ben White had played 15 minutes here and there and started, an odd game here and there, I would have been all right with him to start tonight. But you can't throw Ben White in against Bayern Munich. And Ben White, who's not been playing that much. I'm not sure he's 100% fully fit back to his best, because I think if he was, I think Arteta would be using him a lot more than he is. But it's an interesting situation, isn't it, guys? Benjamin White. What does everyone think about Ben White? Some people think he's just going to go in the summer and that'll be it. I think he's been a good servant to the club. He can play a variety of positions, but I just think he's got someone who's just so much better than him in Timber. Yeah, he is better than him, isn't he, man? Timber's out of this world. He's out of this world. That 2-2 draw last time we played Bayern, I think we lost in the occasion, being back in the UCL. 100% agree with you. After so many years out of the UCL, I do want to win against them. Still haven't got our revenge. That's right. And I think we all thought we were going to get our revenge because we were so good that season. We were doing really well. And we kind of thought, yeah, this is the time now. We're going to get our revenge. But it didn't quite happen. But look, hopefully today we can finally get that revenge. But listen, let's not forget last season. We played PSG in the group stage and we beat PSG 2-0, didn't we? And we all thought, oh, here we go. This is going to be the, well, we thought we were better than PSG. And then we played them in the semis and we all know what happened. So, like, tonight is good for confidence and everything. But listen, you could play Bayern Munich. Well, they're on super form right now as well. That's the thing, though. I don't think PSG are on the best form. And PSG are not even on the best form this season. PSG, I think, they had 11 players last year that all stayed fit, and the belly was on fire, and everything just kind of worked for them, and they won all those trophies. And fair play to them. Hopefully, this is our season. But I agree with you about that. Yeah, the occasion did get the best of us last season. We had to win at home. Once we went away to Bayern Munich, yeah, we had to win at home. I think we lost that tie there. Same against PSG. Once we lost that home, the tie was done. Eze, Saka, and Timber praying before big games is working. So I don't think we should drop any of them. Yeah, good point. Good point. Good point. Well, my friend who's a Man United fan said every day he prays that Arsenal don't win the league. So there's a lot of people praying against us as well. I can guarantee you that. Everyone, make sure you're smashing them likes for me. Make sure you're subscribing if you haven't subscribed. Let's help get the channel up to 2K. Let's help get us monetized. I think it's crazy, you need like 4,000 watch hours to get monetized. I think we're up to like 2,000 or something now. But yeah, man, appreciate every single one of you all coming in, all showing love to the channel, every single person, even if you've come on and watched for 1 minute, everyone who's been in here, all the comments. Without the comments, it's very hard to do a live. These comments are what keep it going. So I just want to say thank you to every single person. Here comes Rodrigo. Big up my guy Rodrigo, man. You've been showing bare love today with these comments. Yeah, man, but Man United don't have a majority Christian starting 11s. Oh, yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Jesus is coming back soon. That's a good look. You've just given me a good thing. What do we think about Gabriel Jesus as? Gabriel Jesus, right? What what's the situation with him? Because the guy, when he first came, we all remember, the streets will never forget. Pre-World Cup Jesus, the guy was on super fire. We were doing bits. It looked like we was going to win the league. He got injured, and then we didn't win the league. And since then, we've not really seen that Jesus. He came back last season and scored the hat trick against Palace. Weirdly, I think it was in the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup, which looks like that could be the game where he comes back. What do we think about Jesus? What do we think? Has he got a future at Arsenal? Does Jesus have a future at Arsenal? Let me know in the comments. Luckily, in Florida, football culture is kind of bigger than most. Is kind of bigger than most places in America, with the big international influx. So I do see lots of Arsenal supporters in the wild. That's good. That's good to hear, man. Listen, I'm hoping to get to the World Cup. I really am hoping to get to the World Cup. So hopefully, if I'm at the World Cup, I'll come and buck you there, man, in Miami, Florida. That would be amazing. That and Inter Miami, I watch Messi in person as much as I can, bro. Wow. I always wanted to do it. I always wanted to go over to Barcelona and go and watch Messi play. And I wish I would have. I wish I did. And yeah, that's my one regret. I didn't see him when Messi played against us. I saw Ronaldo obviously play against us with Manchester United, so I've seen the second best, I suppose. Okay, Dan, off to have dinner. Enjoy the game. Thank you so much for watching, Jez. Thank you for all your comments, and hopefully we get you on the show soon. And hopefully I'll come on your show soon. Thank you very much. If Gyökeres isn't fit today, but Jesus is, I would love to see him coming on. Listen, I would love to see nothing more. I think the whole crowd would love to see Jesus coming on. It's just, can he stay fit? That, and is he ever going to be the same? Is his knee ever going to be the same? Because he's on a lot of wages, isn't he, guys? So I think he'll go in the summer. But let's win a Premier League, even if he only gets 5 goals this season. Let him go out with a trophy at Arsenal. Some of these guys, man, Xhaka didn't get a trophy. Zinchenko didn't. Hopefully, Jesus can get a trophy. Did the Chelsea performance make you more worried for that game on the weekend? They really surprised me against Barcelona, especially them being able to take Barcelona front three at the game. Well, look, I think the game changed a lot after the sending off, but Manchester United against Everton only a night before shows you it doesn't always work like that, right? You still got to beat the team. Now, Barcelona and Real Madrid, for me, they're nowhere near at the levels that they once were. But listen, beating Barcelona, whether they got 10 men or not, is a fantastic win for Chelsea. And of course, if I would be crazy to say it didn't make me think, oh my God, this game's going to be even harder. Of course, this game's going to be even harder now. They are really going to be up for it. So, in answer to your question, yes. And I think Esteval is going to be, he's going to be one of the best players in the world. He looks like that, but he's got to score more. He's only got 1 goal in the Premier League, and I think our defense will be able to handle him. Would love to keep Jesus, but he isn't the type of guy to stay if he isn't getting minutes. I think he's got to stay fit first, though, hasn't he, Rodrigo? That's the first thing he's got to do. Jesus, amazing player. Wages are too high. Does player enough? Wish him the best. Yeah, his wages are very high, aren't they? Real question is, How do real question is how do we drop Eze and Trossard? We don't. They don't get dropped. They do not get dropped. Trossard has been our best attacker. He doesn't get dropped for me. Gabriel Jesus is in top form. Can be a starter for us. He's so good. Oh, in top form. Oh yeah, 100%. But he'd have to stay fit. This is the thing. He could play on the left. He can play on the right. He can play up front. But he doesn't stay fit. So if he could stay fit, that'd be brilliant. What's going on at Real was crazy. Love seeing chaos at that club. Yeah, I had them in an accumulator the other day, and they bloody drew. And I would have won £1,000, and they drew. They let me down. Arsenal beat Tottenham. Lazio won. I think had, and who was the other team? I think it was. I can't remember. But anyway, the fact is, Real Madrid let me down. But are they still top of the league though? It's not. It's the La Liga is nowhere near what it was, is it? Even Barcelona, Lewandowski, top player, but got 37-year-old up front. Barca would have done better if they didn't have such a high line. The tactics were not right at all against Chelsea, and I don't think Arteta will do the same. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I want Gabriel Jesus on loan, lad. I would take him. Yeah, look, I think he'd thrive at a club like Everton. But the thing is, it's just what I keep coming back to. He's got to stay fit. Gabriel Jesus has to stay fit. This is the thing. If he doesn't stay fit, then it's just if he doesn't stay fit, there's not a lot that we can do. I love Gabriel Jesus. I think he's a brilliant player, but he just doesn't stay fit. If he could stay fit, he would be unreal. Look, he's got it here, right here, right here. He said it the best. Arsenal, 81-37. His knees, I think his knees are done. And if they are done, then come on, guys. Do you know what I mean? If they are done, he should be getting. He's got to go, hasn't he? But listen, I want him to have a fairy tale ending and win the Premier League with Arsenal. Be scared for Sunday. Pray for Arsenal. No, no, no. It's pray for Chelsea, my guy, John. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for your comment as well. If you guys score first, does the team solidify even more, or will Arteta push for more goals? Interesting question. Um, I at home we tend to go for it at home, no matter who we're playing. But if we're 1-0 up with 15 to go, you could see us trying to just see the game out. But I think if we score early, we'll definitely be going for the second at home for sure. Not everyone will agree with me saying that, by the way. I got a feeling Jesus is leaving for an Italian team or back to Brazil in the summer. Yeah, I think so. In the summer, I think keep him now. We're fighting for 4 trophies. You might as well keep him, see if he can stay fit. Malcolm G2M runs, and then Yerdy, and you can have Jesus. Yeah, exactly that. The Barcelona is a team full of kids playing against men. The top teams in the PL are just too strong for the Barca kids. I agree. Big up Luca Talks Dons. I was watching some of your content today as well, actually. Really good stuff, man. Next 2 games we'll find out. Arsenal, Bayern, Chelsea. We're going to find out where Arsenal really are. Well, yes and no, because if we drew both of them, wouldn't be the end of the world. Would still be one of the best teams. Would still be top of the league. If we were to lose both of them, then maybe there would be big question marks asked. Am I scared of Estival? No, I'm not. Do I think he's going to be a great player? Yes, but 1 league goal doesn't scare me, to be honest. I have to be honest with you, John. 5 at the back with Mascara, Defo for 1-0 up with 10 minutes left. Yeah, I can see that, 100%. With 10 minutes left, 100%. Why not? See it out, move on to Chelsea. Why do you go by Positive Dan? That's not the name of your YouTube channel. No hate, by the way, just a genuine question. No, listen, it's a great question. So I shared a channel with a friend of mine who's called Dan, right? And me and him, we used to get into football arguments all the time. And I just said, look, you've got negative Dan here and positive Dan here. And it just kind of stuck. He doesn't like to be called negative Dan. His name's really Schooner. When I first started content, my name up here, you can't really see it, but it's Dan Daguna was my name. Dan Daguna. And then it just kind of stuck. The positive Dan thing kind of stuck. I would not be positive if we were like 5th or 6th. I tried to be positive as much as I can in general in life. But yeah, I mean, it would be easier if my channel was called Positive Dan because people would be able to find me a lot easier. And I share my channel with my friend who's also called Dan, Realist Gooner. And when we made the channel, it was called Gooner's Therapy. So that's where we're at with that. But who knows, maybe one day I'll make another channel and I'll call it Positive Dan. Great question, though, by the way. By the way, if anyone's had any good news in here, any good news, let us know. Anyone got a promotion? Anyone got a new girlfriend? Anyone got anything they want to say? Any good news? Let us know, guys, because I always like hearing good news. Do you think the next two games we will find out? Listen, I think the next two games we're going to win the next two games. I think so. I think everyone will just know what we know already. That's my personal opinion. MLS or Calafiori tonight? I'm going to say MLS. I think he needs game time. I think he's played in every single Champions League game, and I think he's been excellent. He was unbelievable against Atletico Madrid, so that's what I'm going to go for. Do you think we beat Chelsea? Yes, I do. I think it will be men against boys. I think we'll go there and be too physically strong for them, and I think we'll get a 1-0, 2-0. That's what I'm going for. I still question Chelsea centre backs. A win tonight will simmer them down a lot. Remember how Bayern battered them earlier in the UCL? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. 3-1. You're right. You are right. I think we'll beat Bayern home and Chelsea away. I honestly think we can win the league. I do Arsenal MK Don's channel. You do Arsenal MK Don's channel. Okay. What do you mean? You do Arsenal and MK Don's channel? Let me know, my bro. I was looking at this channel, Luca Talks Don's, last night, and it's got some good stuff on there. Hopefully, if Arsenal win the league, you can change the name to Positive Dan's. That's a that's a great point. And I'll make sure I'll tell him that. I'm gonna go meet him in a bit, so I'll tell him that. I think Skelly would deal with Elise better. I agree, Rodrigo. I think he could deal with him better as well. He's pace against pace, in it. So yeah. What's your score against Bayern? Big up, thank you, Bodron, for coming in the chat. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'm going for 2-1. Arsenal is what I'm going for. It's a big game. It's a huge game. Agreed. I think Olise will turn Calafiori inside out. Yeah, don't know about that, but yeah, it's quite capable of doing that to him. So yeah, I think Skelly will start, and I think he's played every Champions League game, and I think he needs to play. He's that good. The difference between him and Skelly, him and Calafiori, is that much. You know, Calafiori is more of a man, and he's bigger and he's stronger, and I think he suits the Premier League. And I want him to continue playing in the Premier League, but Skelly, I think, has been excellent in the Champions League, and I think you're right. He would be better suited up against a tricky winger in Elise. Do you think Elise is going to play on the right today, or will he play in the middle? Because he has played in the middle quite a bit for Bayern this season. They really do mix it up. Elise versus Eze again, another storyline for Eze's Disney story. Listen, yeah, you couldn't write it, could you? You know, he's about to sign for Tottenham, signs for Arsenal, hat trick against Spurs, and now he's going to see his mate Elise, and they're going to go against each other in the Champions League when all they had played in was the Premier League, never played in the Champions League. Obviously, Elise is playing for France, Eze's playing for England. So, yeah, big up them two boys, man. It's a great story. It really is. The first goal is important in this game. If we get the first goal, Bayern will come out more, and that will suit us more. I don't want to concede first against Bayern. Listen, 100%. We conceded first against PSG, and the game was done. You know, you're 100% right. And look, against teams like Bayern Munich, they have to come out a little bit more against us, right? They have to come out and play. They've got no other option to play because just the way they play. Bayern ain't going to come and sit 10 behind the ball like other teams. So I think it could actually suit us. The moment Atletico Madrid tried to even play a little bit against us, boom, they were done. We scored 4 goals. What a great night that was. Hoping this is another one. Eze and Alicia 100% going to have a Lua and Roos smiling moment at kickoff. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. I think so as well. I think so. I'll be looking out for that. Need to see it happen too, because both are such humble characters. Listen, they're both such humble guys, and it really is a great story for football, isn't it? It's a brilliant story for football. Guys, make sure you're smashing those likes for us. Want to say thank you to everyone who's been in the chat today, everyone who's dropping comments. I can't do a live without these comments, guys. So all of these comments, big up Rodrigo's been coming with loads of comments. I really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. Anyone who hasn't, let me know your thoughts. What do you think the score's going to be? Are Arsenal going to get the win? What's more important, today or Chelsea? You know, do you want revenge against Bayern so much that, you know, you're just fully focused on this game, or are you like me and you've got half an eye on Chelsea? I think the worst thing that could happen today, even worse than a defeat, would be an injury to Saka or Declan Rice or Hincapié. You know, That would, for me, would be the worst thing if we got a big injury today. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope we beat Bayern Munich. Big up Brian here from Hackney Wick FC. Big up Hackney Wick FC, man. I think my boy used to play for a team called that. I'm sure he did. But yeah, man, we need to stay fresh for Sunday. We need to stay, 100%. Sunday's massive. Sunday is a humongous game. Very much looking forward to that one. It's an exciting time to be an Arsenal fan, and the big games are the best games, aren't they? The big games are the best games. What a week. I remember when the fixtures first come out, and I looked and I said, ooh, when the Champions League fixtures were done, and I said, we've got Spurs, Bayern Munich, Chelsea. I said, that could make or break our season. We've got one out of the way. Let's beat Bayern Munich, go and beat Chelsea. And yeah, it'd be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? I've realised how little us Arsenal fans has discussed Kimmich as a problem. The UCL quarters, he was one of the. Listen, I said it earlier on in the stream. He was, I said it earlier on. Kimmich is absolutely formidable. He's one of the most underrated midfielders of a generation. I think a lot of players that because they play for Bayern, they become underrated. Who was the other great player they had, like Kimmich, that could play right and in the centre? Don't know how. I forgot my name now. One of the legends, man. Was it Lam that used to play there? They've had so many good players over the years. But yeah, Kimmich is a top player, man. I mean, we were linked with him before, and I thought, if we got him, it is Lam, yeah. If we got him, that would be absolutely brilliant. What he could bring to our team. I remember Pep Guardiola saying he's one of the most intelligent players that he's ever seen play the game. So that would be absolutely fantastic, man. Let's read this. I would be more scared of Leas Diaz tonight, to be honest. He was on a tear. Yeah, he's not playing today. He's suspended. So thank God for that. Thank God that he's suspended because yeah, he's a great player. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you knew about that. All right, 3-game ban now. I think he got up. Got upgraded. What do we think about the Ronaldo situation, guys? Making new rules for Ronaldo. Everyone says, oh, Inter Miami got shuffled into this World Club Cup, and I agree. And I think Messi's the GOAT, but Ronaldo just, they've suspended his ban so he can play in the World Cup. Strange stuff, innit, guys? What do we think about that? Kimmich and Zubi are similar players, to be honest, but yeah, I really wanted Kimmich too. 100% agreed. Thomas Muller, yeah, what a baller he was. He got treated pretty badly at the end of his career at Bayern, didn't he? Do you think we could make a signing in January because Semenyo could be like the Diaz signing for Liverpool when Diaz came in January and lifted Liverpool? Yeah, look, I don't see us making any signings personally. I just don't see it. After the money we've laid out in the summer, I don't see us signing any players. I personally just don't see it. I would love it, but I don't see it. I'm Portuguese, so I don't mind it. Big up Rodrigo. Yeah, of course you don't mind it. Of course, look, you want that man there, but look, does he even start? Does Ronaldo make Portugal a better team? I'm not so sure anymore, man. I'm really not. By the way, I'm Irish, so I was absolutely buzzing when we beat you. And then we had to beat Hungary, and we went and beat Hungary, and now we play Czech Republic in the playoffs. And if we beat them, it's who is it? Is it Denmark or Macedonia? Yeah. So hopefully Ireland go to the World Cup. Not gonna lie though, I wouldn't even play them. Yeah, exactly. I thought you would say that. My friend who was in the chat earlier, David Speaks Football. He is just, he loves Bruno and Ronaldo. He's obsessed with him. Rodrigo, what do you think about Bruno? We play so much better without him. It's hard to say. Yeah, look, he's 41 years old or whatever he is. He can't fucking run on the pitch like he's just going to be a moments player. And he would be perfect to come on for the last 10 minutes and try and get you a goal, wouldn't he? But the thing is, Ronaldo would be sulking. He'd be sulking and sulking and sulking, and he could ruin the whole team chemistry. But back to tonight, Declan Rice, baby. I think Declan Rice has got to be on top of his game tonight. Rice, Kimmich, Goretzka, Zubamendi. I think the midfield battle is going to be key today, Oh, look, Bruno for Portugal is our best player. I know. I did see he got a hat-trick the other day. So he's being played out of position at Manchester United, isn't he? Bruno. Can Bruno take you to the World Cup, Rodrigo? Could Portugal win the World Cup? Personally, I think it's going to be Spain or Spain are my favourites for some reason. I don't know why. I just think they're going to do it out in Miami in the heat. They're used to it, aren't they? Forgot for Ronaldo for the Portugal. The manager ain't good enough for Portugal. Yeah, look, Martinez. I don't see him ever winning a World Cup. But look, he won the Nations League, didn't he? So you never know. Generally better than Man United, Bruno, and created to say for how good he is for them. Yeah, look, he's being played out of position, isn't he, guys? He's been played out of position at Manchester United. I'm doing Dallas for World Cup. I don't know if they make special runs for Ronaldo. I want to watch him. Um, you're doing Dallas. What do you mean? You're going to be there, like working there? Good luck to you, man. I hope you get to see a game. Hopefully, we can get a goal up and bring Rice off at 60 minutes. That would be brilliant. But Declan Rice, he doesn't really get injured, man. And he's a machine. I feel like he could just play every game, man. But yeah, I mean, if you're a goal up, you take him off, you could easily concede two. I think we'd have to be two up with maybe 20 to go, and then maybe Rice could come off. Our team should, with the caliber, Neves, Vitinha, Nuno Mendes. But yeah, I don't see it because of the manager. I have to agree, man. Look, tiny little nation like Ireland, we've got players that don't even get a game in the championship. We managed to beat you 2-0. I know you was already through, but I don't know. I don't see it with Portugal, man. I don't. But look, you've got a chance. That's for sure. You've got a chance. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are Saliba and Upamecano the CB pair for France? I feel like one starts or the other, but it seems like that Upamecano mainly starts. Deschamps doesn't really fancy Saliba. It's weird, Deschamps, isn't it? He just has his favourites. He doesn't really have his favourites, does he? I mean, he doesn't really fancy Saliba, but if Saliba ain't starting for France, then the geezer's he's lost his mind, didn't he? Big up Paddy. Paddy Christie, I hate Arsenal. Well, I hate whatever team you support too, mate. But if your name's Paddy and you're Irish, I'm Irish too. And what a result against Hungary, eh? And Portugal. Thanks for coming in and dropping a comment, though. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. I'm scared about Rice. If he gets injured, that's the one position I don't see anyone replacing. Sadly, I don't think Nordegaard is good enough. I wouldn't play Nordegaard there. I think the only one would be Skelly because Skelly's got energy. He can run for days. Obviously, he's not got the discipline of Rice, and he's not as good as him. But if Rice got injured, I'd be playing Lewis Skelly personally. That's what I'd be doing. But I don't think Rice will get injured. What's your best goal you've seen for Arsenal? For me, it's Dennis Bergkamp's against Newcastle. I have to agree with you on that one. I have to agree with you. It's got to be Dennis Bergkamp against Newcastle. Every time I watch it, even now, all these years later, I'm still in disbelief. So I've got to agree with you, man. Maybe a January signing to make me think we uh, would be a CDM. Well, yeah, look, it looks like Norgard is not really fancying him. And to be honest, the level drops off a lot when Norgard comes in, doesn't it? So, yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you. I'm a fly out to Dallas. Oh, they have a good. They have second most games for the World Cup. Oh, wicked! You're going to fly out there. Okay, yeah. Hopefully, you're hoping that Ronaldo or Messi plays out in Dallas. Yeah. Makes sense, man. Maybe that's where I'll go then. I want to get out there, man. Definitely as well. I'm hoping I can do it, man. It'll be some good content. Imagine the content I could get for Gooners Therapy out there. That would be good. Omri flick volley against Man United as man over Bergkamp just because it was Man United. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying with that. But as a technical goal, I'm going for the Bergkamp one. If Rice gets injured, I would start Martin Eze and Zubi. Martin Eze and Zubi, yeah, that's another shot. I think Odegaard could get about like Rice. To be honest, that's a good shot. It's a real good shot as well. Different players, of course, but Kai could maybe cover for Declan now that you have Zubi. Look, a lot of people have said that, but I think we've had Kai in that position before and it didn't really work out. So I'm not convinced. We should have got Paulinho instead of Norgard. Yeah, look, that would have been great, but Paulinho probably wouldn't have wanted to come and sit on the bench. Do you know what I mean? So it's very hard to find players where you're going to say, look, you're not going to play, but if I ever need you, you might play a cup game here or there. It's very hard to find these players. Like people say Arteta wasted a lot of money, but these were on players that were never going to be starters. The Fabio Vieiras, the Lokongas, the Tavares, they were never going to start. Anyone that's been a starter for me has really been a success at Arsenal under Arteta's leadership. Someone ringing me, but I'll call him back in a minute. That's Jules, who comes on the show sometimes. giving me a ring. Big game now. I'll tell you that. This is a massive game. I'm really, really looking forward to this. Just, the Emirates are big games. There's just something so special about it. It really is. Dallas and New York have games. Dallas semi-final, New York final. Wow. Final in New York. I have been to New York, and New York is a brilliant place. Really is. He wouldn't leave, but I would love, Camavinga. Arteta defo would too. Decency and can rotate. Yeah, that would be a fantastic signing. He would be a very, very good signing, Camavinga. He would be a top signing for sure. 100%, man. He's a good player. He's a very good player. And look, I don't know. Look, he probably wouldn't leave unless he's going to be starting. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, agree with you on that one. Everyone, make sure you're please smashing those likes. How often do I go to the stadium? I go to every home game, and I go to as much away games as I can. So every home game, and I've only actually been to one away game this year. That was Old Trafford. I can go. I get offered to go. It's just with work and family and stuff like that, it's quite difficult. But I'm meant to be going Chelsea away, so I'm really looking forward to that. What about yourself? Do you get over to any of the games? Miami is building a new stadium for the World Cup. Yeah, look, Miami is obviously where I'd want to go, right? Because it's just, it's Miami, isn't it? It's the place where we all want to go, like, as Londoners, I've never been to Miami. I've been to New York. I've not been to Miami. So that would be amazing. Talking about Madrid, would you take Vinny since he's currently in a dispute with Alonso? I've said no to mates. I wouldn't go close. I agree with you. I wouldn't. I don't. I think he'd light it up and he'd be great at Arsenal, but things weren't going well. Oh, I don't think it works. I think Arteta's the sort of manager you got to listen, you got to be in line. I think he goes for characters, and that's what we've got at Arsenal. A bunch of real good characters. I'm not sure his profile fits Arsenal. Crazy wages. Yeah, I don't think that sort of player, him or an Mbappe, I don't think it works at Arsenal, to be honest. I envy you. I was once at a cup game against Bolton in 2012. Pretty boring. The first team didn't even play. Listen, it messaged me on Instagram. Gooners Therapy, the same thing. I might be able to help you out with some tickets, my friend. And yes, I am going today. I've got to leave soon, so I'm going to do about 5 more minutes here, and then I'm going to drive down. Plus the trolling, if he doesn't light it up, will be unbearable. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, look, could you say no? Probably not. We'd probably all say, yeah, if we had the chance, we'd all be excited. But I just don't know if it would work. It could. Who knows? He could come on and kill it, you know. And look, to be honest, the left wing position is. I probably would take him. To be honest, like, I know he's not. I know this attitude, this that, but you don't know if him and Arteta sat down and they work things out, and he would be the main starter on the left. There would be no one else. He would be the main guy. So if Arteta thinks that he could suit his system, I'd do it. I would. If Rice gets injured, God forbid, Odegaard or MLS, yeah, I think Odegaard. I think Odegaard or MLS. I'm with you, 100%. Leo says never Vinny. What's your opinion on Troy Parrott? I never rated at club football, but he's turned into a real number 9 for Ireland. He has indeed. And look, I was following his career. He was at Tottenham and he got let go. And then, of course, he moved to AZ Alkmaar, and he's been scoring goals out there in Holland. He's like the top goal scorer out in Holland. He got about 17 goals last year. And look, I'll never forget, he's only 23, what he's done for Ireland. He's only playing because Ferguson was injured. But I think Ireland have to get both of them two in the team, Ferguson and Troy Parrott. But yeah, Troy Parrott, he looks good, man. He looks very good. And look, I think he'd start for Spurs now. I think he's better than Richarlison. He's better than Solanke. You know, I think he'd start for them. So I think they've missed a gem there. That's nice, mate. And in Brazil, though, maybe one day. Yeah, look, big up, man, watching all the way from Brazil. Appreciate that. That makes me feel like, wow, I've got people watching from Brazil. But yeah, if you ever come over, just send me a message, man, and we'll sort that out for you, my guy. Arteta can change Vinny, but Rodrigo fits us better. Someone else said that to me. I like Vinny better than Rodrigo. I'm not gonna lie. I have to say I prefer Vinny than Rodrigo personally. I do. Everyone, make sure you're smashing them likes for me. Make sure you're subscribing if you have not subscribed already. Get your predictions into me. I want to know what everyone thinks. Are we going to win the game? Are we going to draw? Are we going to lose? What's more important, Chelsea or Bayern Munich? We're discussing Ben White. Does he have a future at Arsenal? Instagram, same tag as this, Gooners Therapy Instagram. If anyone wants to send me a message, if anyone wants to ever jump on the show with us, just message me on Instagram, Gooners Therapy or Positive Dan, and we can catch up. But guys, I am gonna call it a night right there because I've got to get ready to get down to go to the stadium. I just want to say this has probably been the most watched live that I've done. I've done it all on my own as well, so that's brilliant stuff. Read this one out. I always wanted Vinny, but his attitude this season, I don't want him now. Yeah, look, I have to agree, but I couldn't say no. I just couldn't say no because imagine it worked out, guys. But anyway, look, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate all your time. We're back on Thursday. Put your notifications on with a new show called Take the L with rival fans. I've got Man United fans on it. I've got Chelsea fans on it. We'll be previewing the weekend's results. So please turn your notifications on, guys. We need all the help we can get with the channel. We need all the subscribers. I've had 30 people in here watching today, which is the most that we've had. So apart from when we got a raid one time. So please, guys, put your notifications on. Thursday, it'll be either at 8 or 9 o'clock. Get the notifications on and come and join us and support us on Thursday like you did today. It would mean the world to me if you could make that. Thank you so much, guys. All the best. Come on, you Gooners. Let's go.